All right. Today, how in the world, how to control your words before they control you. So important. Have you ever gotten in an argument? Like, I'm talking a heated argument where you said some things that maybe you didn't quite mean or you want to take back after the fact? Control those words, or we're going to be eating those words later, right? So, we're going to talk about a few things we can do a little bit differently to control the words that come out of our mouth. Step number one is set the intention. I know we say it every single time, but that's what it's about is intention, that we are going to assume the least amount of harm possible for whatever information we have received. So if somebody's just walked up to you and said, "Oh my gosh, this just happened," and it triggers you, or it has the potential to trigger you, all of a sudden we say in our own mind, "Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to harm possible here. So if so and so did this, what is the least amount of harm possible in this situation?" Okay, they simply just didn't know, or we're going to give them a little bit of grace of harm possible, and then we're going to wait because we'll find out more information later, right? It becomes very, very important. Have you ever, this happened to me, where I wrote an email, sent it without hitting save and waiting 24 hours first? Oh my goodness. I did that one time. And I received the advice that, David, don't ever, ever, ever send an email, especially if it's fully emotionally charged, unless you save it, wait 24 hours, then send it. Because what will happen is you will receive a lot of additional information between the time that you receive the stimulus and the original email that I wrote, because new information came through, and had I sent it, I would have looked like a complete idiot, right? A complete idiot. Setting the intent. That's step one. Step two is now we tell ourselves a better story. I know they kind of go hand in hand, but if I'm assuming the least amount of harm possible, what does that story look like? Your husband comes home 5 hours late, doesn't call, doesn't communicate, doesn't talk to you, and you're going crazy in your mind initially. Oh, but all of a sudden we're like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. We're going to assume the least amount of harm possible. What is the new story? You know what? Phone could have died. Car could have died out in the middle of nowhere. I know I called any number of places, right? So what's the least amount of harm possible? Becomes very important. All right, so we tell ourselves a better story. Number three, when we finally are face to face with the individual, we have to soft tones, right? So we have intention, we have tempered language, and we're going to temper our tones. When we're in soft tones, non-accusatory soft tones, we're more in the find out phase. Hey, what happened? Talk to me. I missed you for 5 hours. What's going on? Now all I'm trying to do is learn, right? I just trying to learn. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm not jumping all over them. I'm not screaming at them. Why the heck aren't you home? All I'm doing is asking some questions. Hey, what happened, baby? Where you been? I want a friend and vent. Now, if you are a leader, obviously you can't vent down. You can't vent laterally. You've got to have a network of people that you have created that you can call and run some ideas by, that you can call and vent once in a while, that you can call and blow off some steam and talk through the situation before conversation. So step 5 is having the crucial conversation, which is truly the find out what's going on, where are we at, this made me feel this way, this is why I felt this way, and can you help me understand, right? If we take this approach, how different will the communication be in the home? How different will the communication be in the office? Just put in the chat below, how more effective will we be as communicators? And how much better will our relationships be if we take that least amount of harm possible, wait and see approach, find out all the information, then have the crucial conversation with soft tones? Is that a game changer? It's an absolute game changer, right? And if we've talked it out with somebody else and they can help give us some clarity and remember, help me solve the problem. I just really need to talk this out. Now all of a sudden you have a listening ear. You get to talk through the whole situation, and through the process of talking through it, you're like, oh, okay. You come to your own conclusions, right? Because we trust in our own abilities to figure things out. And sometimes we just need a sounding board, somebody to bounce those ideas off of. But again, it's so important that we set the intention that we are going to assume the least amount of harm possible, because if we don't, we can get triggered and we can suffer that way. Okay. So again, final here, set the intent language, temper your tones. And then we want to make sure we use a sounding board, right? We talk to somebody, sound it out, and then let's communicate with the individual so that we can get past whatever situation we're in. All right. Thank you so much. My name is David Adams with People Steward Leadership. And we just want to make sure that we're inspiring leaders to embrace people stewardship so that their teams take personal responsibility for their own growth and development. And there's no way quite like it to do those types of things than to increase, multiply, and improve our personal leadership skills. So I'm giving away my course at the bottom. It's a $97 course. It's simple, but some just life-changing ideas in there for multiplying your personal communication skills. All right. We know tomorrow.